Welcome everyone, and let's get talking about Wuthering Waves. So today we'll be talking about the 5-star standard characters. Apparently you will be able to pick one of these 5-star characters from the standard beginner banner. So let's talk about what you would want to pick. Before I get to the specifics, let me talk about 5-star standard characters in general. In gacha games, 5-star standard characters are usually the first to get power crept, so do keep that in mind. Wuthering Waves is a very skill expression heavy and playstyle dependent game, so I would advise you to pick the character whose playstyle suits you the best and who you like playing more. Well then, let's get to the characters. First of all, we have Encore. She is a fusion main DPS character. Although I say main DPS, she can also function kind of quick swappy. She has this special charge attacks that she can do, and you are also able to swap off before the charge attack completes to another character and continue doing damage that way. Another thing to mention is that she's a hybrid for ranged and melee. In her normal state, she does her damage in a ranged way, while in her resonance liberation state, she starts becoming more like a melee damage dealer. Currently, her main weaknesses would be the lack of fusion supports. Every other element right now has like a support sub DPS character that is able to buff that elemental damage, but right now fusion doesn't have that yet. Maybe in the future we will have better synergy, but currently she does lack that bit of synergy. Otherwise, she's a very solid character to pick. Next up, we have Ling Yan. He's a Glacio main DPS character who's all about a flurry of fast hits. Another unique thing about him is he's able to get up into the air and do combos with his resonance liberation. These aerial combos look really cool, but there is one issue. They have clunky hitboxes. The issue with this is, you might not be able to hit your enemies reliably and do less damage as a result. So he has been falling clearly behind all the other damage characters in the 5 stars. But Kuro has kept this on note, and they did announce that they will be reworking his kit to make him function better. So if you like this character and like his playstyle, do keep an eye out for reworks that he might be receiving. Next up, we have Jinyan. She is somewhat of an all-rounder in my opinion, because she can heal, she can shield, she can CC enemies, she even has a special parry, and she also buffs ultimate damage on her outro skill. This sounds very broken, doesn't it? But the issue is, she is one of the lowest rated characters among the 5-star standard characters. The issue with her is that her healing and shielding take forever to trigger, and you're also not able to move around during this time. So you're likely to get hit and knocked out. So you don't really get to do healing or like the shielding. Her parry is alright, and as for the CC, Wuthering Waves is a boss focused game so far currently, so CCing enemies is not that important. Her all damage buff is useful, but right now there aren't any characters which focus on all damage. The two characters that need their ult, Karo and Jinyan, are both characters who enhance their basic attacks with their ult, so they don't actually do all damage. Hence, her buff is not needed in the game right now, but it might see future use. Due to the clunkiness in her kit, she is also gonna be needing a rework according to Kuro, so do keep an eye out for her as well, because she has the potential to probably be the best standard character if her rework is done right. Alright, enough characters with reworks, let's get to like characters who are fine. Next on the list is Karo. He is an aggressive electro DPS. If you have played Genshin Impact, he will seem rather similar to the look with his skill basic attack, skill basic attack, skill basic attack combo, because that's how he's played. Also, he has this special burst mode with his resonance liberation where he does a lot more damage. He's similar to Jinyan, as in they both have this burst mode where their normal attacks and charge attacks get buffed. This is where he does most of his damage, so he's a bit energy hungry. Maybe you can solve that with Yang. Next up, we have probably the most broken character in the standard banner, Verina. She's a Spectro healer and buffer. Although she already gets a very high value from being a healer because there are only 2 healers in the game including her. But at the same time, the reason she is the most broken character in the game is with her skill, she can press E and give your entire team a 20% attack buff, and her outro skill gives the entire team 15% damage buff. She also needs little to no field time to achieve this. And over all this, she also is able to prevent death to one of your characters once every 10 minutes. Although this might not be the most important thing, but it helps to clutch out in situations every now and then. Due to her universal buff, she's able to slot in on like every team in the game currently. So that makes her a very solid choice if you are looking to like be a complete like min-max meta player. She's also gonna be pretty darn future proof because her attack buffs and her healing are very solid. She's also probably the most future proof out of all these characters, but you never know, maybe they bring out a busted healer later. But until then, she's gonna be the best healer and support in the game. Works with every existing team right now and is also incredibly easy to play. Alright, that's it for the brief introduction of all the characters. Now let's talk about some specifics. In my opinion, right now, the top 2 picks are gonna be Verina and Karo. Verina is actually the best pick, I believe, because she's the most flexible out of all the characters out here and can work in almost any team in the game right now. I'm not a biggest fan of her playstyle though, so personally I'm gonna go for the second option, Karo. He's a very solid electro damage dealing character and he's potentially a better choice than Verina if you're gonna be specifically pulling for Jinyan, who's gonna be the second limited character in the first update. And of course, why will you not be pulling for her? So if you're gonna get Jinyan, he's gonna be a very solid teammate for her because they synergize. Jinyan is able to provide a damage buff to Karo and then he can go on field and go ham. And next up, there are the other options, Encore and Ling Yan and Zhenxing. Encore is gonna be a solid fusion DPS character. She's not a bad pick at all, she's good. If you're into those charge attacks and range playstyles, then she's gonna be a good character. But right now she has less synergy, which might improve a lot in the future. So she does have future potential. The last 2 characters, Jinyan and Ling Yan, are characters which have issues and they'll be getting a rework later. Currently, I can't exactly be sure about how well they are gonna be after the rework, but I believe Jinyan has the potential to be either top 2 or 3 in this whole list. If not 1, there's also a possibility. If they make her well, she might even top the list. But as of now, she is not a best choice. Ling Yan, after his clunkiness in his attacks get fixed, I believe his damage output is gonna be a lot more competitive to the other DPSs. If you find his kit fun, like the fast flurry of attacks and going up in the air and like smacking enemies, then he's also a great choice. He also has a lot of relevant supports in the game that help him. So as for the value of these 2 characters, we won't know until the release, I believe. Well then, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching so far, and I'll see you next time.